Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the library. I see we have a bunch of people in the chat. That is awesome. Thank you so much for being here and being prompt, being on time. So let's get the camera going. Why is the camera not on? I do not know. There we go. There's the camera. I hope everyone is having a great evening and is going to have a relaxful weekend coming up. We're going to get some rain around here. I don't know about what your weather is like, but I see we're having a little bit of a interference here. That's not good. That is not good. Anyway, let's play our intro, and then we will get right into the story. All right. Let's get rid of that. And we are back and ready to get started. Let's get the camera on. Hello, hello, hello. As you can see, Lenny is wearing his graduation cap because he recently graduated from the University of Transylvania, I believe. So he was really enthusiastic and felt like he wanted to wear his cap today. So I said, okay, we'll let him do that. Make him feel good. Right, Lenny? You accomplished something besides just sitting there all the time. Anyway, so let me just start by saying hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, Spirit. Hello, Gerard. Thindu, my brother, is here. Paul is in the house. Bill C., good to see you. Let me see something here. Bill C., why are you not a moderator? How do we do that? Why can't I do that? I thought I was able to do that. I'll do it after the show. All right. Bill C. Tony the Night Owl, good to see you, my friend. I see the chat was moving pretty quickly before, which is great. That means you guys are talking to each other. And Baywatcher is here. Sven Larson is here. Who else is here? Slim, my friend, is here. Just remember to catch Slim's show after this one. Bobo, Arlene Merlino. Great to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining me and spending a little time with me. All right. And whoever else is here lurking around, because I'm sure there's some. There's no need to comment if you don't want to, but just appreciate you being here to begin with. All right. Now let's do our usual ritual of lighting the candles, and then we can get right into the stories, I should say. And as Gerard says, you use a match. So I've always been using a match ever since he made that suggestion. Makes a lot of sense, as opposed to the lighter. All right. We could shut that off. There we go. That's much better. I actually have a third candle over here, which you don't see it. Oh, that's very bright. What is going on here? It's usually not that bright. That is really strange. Hold on here. You can't even see Lenny. What is going on here? I don't know why this is happening. Hold on. Everything looks like the camera is picking up too much light. It's strange. There you go. That's better. That's better. All right. All right. So tonight's stories, we're going to Maryland. I have 3 stories for you in Maryland, from Maryland, mainly Baltimore. Well, 2 of them are for Baltimore. The other from the outskirts, suburban area of Maryland, other areas of Maryland. Excuse me. Unfortunately, I don't have an actual story for anyone to come on and share tonight. I wanted to try to do that, but I was unsuccessful in getting anybody else to share their personal experiences. So hopefully in the future, someone else will come up with that. Maybe if I shut this off. Hold on. There we go. All right. All right. So let's start. Hello, Joey Pope. I think Joey Pope is here. Yes, there he is. How are you? Good to see you. All right. The first story I want to tell you about is in a place called the Admiral Fell Inn in Baltimore itself. Now, the Admiral Fell Inn, I'm going to show you a picture of it. Here we go. Let's see. Where are we? The Admiral Fell Inn. Now, this picture here was taken in the 1940s, I believe, early 1940s. And this building was actually originally built in the 1700s, but over the years, there has been additions put on and renovations, and there's been about 8 buildings that have been attached to it over the years to make it what it is now. And this is basically what it looks like now. Let me see if I can find a more modern picture. Let me see here. Hold on. I think I had another picture here of it that was more modern. Yeah, I do. Okay, here we go. There we go. So if you were to go there today, and it's an inn, you can stay there, you can get a room. This is what it looks like today. So it's not much different. It's a little refurbished on the exterior, but the guts are original. It's the original structure. It's been there for many, many years, centuries now. Something has been in this location. And over the years, it has taken on many different forms in terms of what was in there. For example, in the 1900s, in the 1800s, it was a ship chandlery. And then in the 1900s, it was taken over by what was called the Anchorage Christian Boarding House. And the Mercy Nuns cared for 6 sailors in this place. Many died here as well, which kind of could contribute to some of the ghostly activity that's been happening over the years. In 1929, the YMCA Seamen's a seaman, so a sailors YMCA took over, and about 50,000 sailors a year were staying in there. So as they would come into the port, they would stay here and go back out. So on an average, 50,000 sailors each year would stay. In the 1950s, it became a vinegar factory, which is interesting to me how this could switch back and forth. And then finally, in 1985, it became a bed and breakfast and an inn, and it's been that ever since. So it has an interesting and long history here. Now, the sailors that have stayed in this are probably responsible for most of the activity, the ghostly activity here. And many have seen images of floating sailors. So an apparition of floating sailors in the halls in the middle of the night, wandering about. There have been accounts of a ghostly butler knocking on your door. So if you stay there and you hear knocking at your door late at night and you didn't order room service, it could be the ghost of this butler that's coming and knocking on your door. There's even been a ghost dog spotted, the spirit of a ghost running rampant in the halls, playing with a ball, and then when you approach it, it'll vaporize and disappear in thin air. What is the area of the hotel that is most of the activity? Well, most of the activity, I think, takes place in a couple of rooms. Room 218, which is it is said that a sailor hung himself, committed suicide there because he had some dreadful disease that was going to eventually turn him blind, and he didn't want to deal with it, so he hung himself, and his spirit still lingers there in that room 218. There's a ghostly woman. This is interesting. A ghostly woman who patrols the hall, and if she sees you up at night, this is an interactive spirit. So she's walking through the halls, and if she sees you, if it's late at night and she sees you, she will tell you, she will go like this, shh, lay down, and she will tell you to lay down. In other words, time to go to bed, time to relax. And many people have encountered this, that there was this woman that shows up in 18th century gown, kind of looks like a nurse, a nursemaid or something, and very motherly, and says, time to lay down, time to go to bed. So some people think it's one of the nuns that was there treating the sick, that's still trying to live out her life's calling in the afterlife. So interesting stuff there. In 1999, there was a terrible murder in one of these rooms. I think it was 413. And it turns out this is a legitimate murder. It's documented. It happened. There was an individual by the name of Gary Mick who killed another individual by the name of Chris Jones. And he did it with a hammer. He hammered him 9 times in the head and bludgeoned him to death with the hammer. And it's said that he did this because he had a thing with gay men, and he was wanted to be a serial killer of gay men. Now, thankfully, this was the only person he killed because he was caught right after that. He tried to do it again, and he was caught after that. But some people think that evil spirit is there, or the spirit of the man that was murdered might be there as well. And they experience in that room 413, they experience cold spots that come out of nowhere and suddenly will make you shiver and shake. Some have felt a hand on their shoulder as they relax in their room. No one is there. So a creepy, harmful, terrible event took place there. So it's bound to have some type of negative energy, I would think. Some people have even seen the image of that woman that I mentioned. her image in the windows. So people from the street have seen her image in the windows at night. So she's pretty active. So you have the spirit of the sailors, these hauntings. We don't know exactly where that comes from. We do know that there was a sailor that committed suicide there, but these are multiple sailors that are floating about. We have the spirit of this woman, nurse or nun, we're not sure, that seems to be going about her rounds, trying to take care of the guests there. Excuse me, let me get that off this. There we go. M. Powell, good to see you, my friend. Glad you could join me. Gina, good to see you. And and there was also an incident in 2003 when the place needed to be evacuated because of a hurricane, and I don't remember which hurricane it was. Hurricane Isabel. The place had to be evacuated, and everyone was out of the building, but the manager stayed behind. And what he swears occurred was that after the hotel was completely vacated, he heard the noise of a party on the upper floor, and he, like, a number of people, like, laughing and joking, or like crowd noises of people having a party, and no one was in the building at the time. So could that be the ghosts there having a little hurricane party of their own? Who knows? Could have been residual energy from the past. Who knows? But he swears there was no one in the hotel, and he heard this going on, this rumbling upstairs, voices carousing, very positive type of party atmosphere he heard happening in a vacant hotel. So some interesting stuff that takes place on this traditionally sailors' boarding house called the Admiral Fell Inn. All right. Let's move on to number two. Number two story. I only have 3 stories tonight, so I think we might be a little shorter. It'll be a shorter episode tonight. All right. Number 2. The Haunted Bridge of Jericho. Now, the Jericho Bridge, let me get you a picture of this, is located in Kingsville, Maryland, and it connects Hartford and Baltimore counties. So this bridge is a connecting bridge over the two counties. Let me get you a picture of this. Let me put it on full screen. This is what Jericho Bridge looks like. As you can see, it's a very quiet and desolate area. Woods around it. It covers a river about 15 feet above the water. It's 88 feet long and 15 feet wide. It was built in 1865. So right at the end of the Civil War, it was built. Now that's a creepy looking bridge in and of itself, just by looking at it. Now let me see. Let me show you something else though. It has recently been refurbished. So I'm going to show you what it looks like presently. It's actually quite striking with that red paint. This is what it looks like in recent times. In recent times, it was repainted, restructurally enforced, and this is what it looks like now, the Jericho Bridge. I mean, this might be a couple of years old, so it may have faded a little bit since then, but it was a bright red when they painted it. So it's a striking standout to the atmosphere and to the landscape. All right. Let's go back to this now. Now, Jericho Bridge, interesting history. Like I said, built in 1865. And there has been a lot of legends and hearsay and stories that have gone along with this bridge from its very creation. Who is to say why? But there's multiple stories, and I'm going to go through them real quick. I don't have in-depth knowledge of the stories, but you get the drift of them. So this bridge was restored multiple times. So that restoration I just showed you was 2015. So it's been a while since it's been restored again. It was restored first time in 1937, and then 1983, and then 2015. So those are your restoration dates for Jericho Bridge. Now, the things that go on this bridge are pretty creepy. Let's go back to this. Let me just keep this up here so you get anyone who gets the gist of what's happening here. Let me just keep this up in the background. So, many people say that their cars will stall in the middle of the bridge. Now, it's a one-lane bridge. Two cars can't go there. So you have to be careful and watch if there's another person on the other side. You have to share the road. So one person has to wait and the other car crosses. Many say their cars will just stall in the middle of the bridge. Inexplainable why. It just stops. And while they're there, handprints will appear on their windshield. So imagine sitting there, you're startled for a second, their car stopped, you don't know why, it's a covered bridge, and then handprints start to appear on the windshield in front of your eyes. That has got to be terrifying. That's got to be a terrifying experience. Now, many people have said that they've seen a little girl, like a teenage girl, carrying a basket of flowers that will come up the side of the bridge, go through the bridge, and then disappear before she gets to the other side. Kind of like a Little House on the Prairie type of situation with the bonnet, like 1800s type of look to her, pioneer look to her. But she's simply carrying a basket of flowers, making her way through, and then never comes out the other side. There's also accounts of a badly burned woman who suddenly appears, face burnt, looked like she's gone through a terrible accident and where there was fire, and so kind of a creepy image. Not much more than that. There's no record of anything like that happening, but some people have said they have seen this apparition of the woman. There is even a tale, an urban legend of a monkey creature that lives underneath the bridge. Now, where that one comes from, I really don't know. Some people say it looks like a monkey. Some people say it looks like a red-eyed demon that lives under the bridge. But the most common has been apparitions of people hanging. Now, bodies hanging from the rafters of the inside of this bridge. Now, why would that be? Now, there's several theories. One theory is that the Ku Klux Klan may have murdered former slaves and hung them in the rafters. That's one theory. Another theory is that during a Civil War, that there was a Confederate soldier that was found, captured, and hanged for being a spy in this bridge. Because I don't know if you know the history, and I'll tell you real quick. Maryland, even though it's a southern state, never seceded from the Union. It was, considered a northern state at that time because it was fighting for the Union. So it was a lot of espionage going back and forth because it was a border state. So a lot of incursions by the Confederates and the Union troops going back and forth here. So that's very possible too. Could have been a Confederate soldier that was hung there. There's also some rumors that a young couple hanged themselves together. Don't know where that came from, but there hasn't been any accounts about a couple, like a male and a female, just that there were bodies hanging. There wasn't much in terms of what they look like. And then it also says that, so if you want to see these apparitions, they may just appear in front of you at night. Another way to do that is to stop your car in the bridge wait a few minutes and look in their mirror, your rear view mirror. And they say, if you look into that rear view mirror, you will see bodies hanging behind you from the rafters. Now, me just saying that, thinking of it, gives me a chill. So, I don't think I would do that if I was there. I don't think I would stop my car and look in the mirror. I would be afraid of what I would see. there's also a theory or a story about a woman who threw her baby into the river and hanged herself. Now, just a horrible type of situation, and you can hear her sing a lullaby to her child if the wind blows the right way. Very, very gruesome and creepy thing. Kills her baby and then kills herself. So, just a horrible situation. Some people have even said that, people that are looking for ghosts, right? This has become a site. So a lot of people will go there and look for activity. A lot of ghost hunters go there. Some, young people just looking for action go there. And they said that if they stop their car, they hear chains coming towards them on the bridge, like links of chain going across the wooden floor of the bridge. And that laughing, they'll hear sinister laughing about them. So a lot of different creepy stuff going on here. And in fact, there is a picture that I want to show you. Let me get rid of this. I'm going to show you this picture. This is a picture that some ghost hunters took of the bridge one night. And hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Where the heck is it? No, that's not it. Why is it not here? Here we go. Let me put this on full screen for you. This is a picture into the rafters of the bridge. And as you could see, there is one orb that's dead center. One orb, clear picture of an orb dead center. And then you see these others floating about here, there, all about smaller orbs. But this one is a nice, clear picture of an orb to the left side of center in here. So it's quite of an impressive picture from that angle, from that of an orb. All right. Stop the screen. There we go. All right. Yeah, so that's Jericho Covered Bridge, Jericho's Haunted Bridge. There was also, in recent years, there was a paranormal investigator that went there and supposedly did some trying to contact spirits. And it said through his questioning, he was able to encounter a spirit of a Confederate soldier. And this spirit told him that he does not haunt inside the bridge, that he haunts the riverbed below, that he died in the river below. And so I don't know. That's what that recent ghost hunting experience found. So that's Jericho Bridge between Hartford and Baltimore counties. Pretty creepy stories that go along with that. It is what it is, right? All right. So now let's go into our final story, which is one of my favorite authors, The Ghost of Edgar Allan Poe. Hello, Nancy. Good to see you. I don't know if anybody else came in that I missed. I do not want to miss them if they did come in. But thank everyone. Gerard Suricelli, thank you for being here, my friend. There's a troll, Gerard? A troll under the bridge, yes. A monkey. Yeah, I don't know. A monkey. It's not a YouTube troll, but it's a troll under the bridge, yes. So, yeah. All right. All right. Excuse me. Now, Nancy, did I say hello to you? I hope I did. Thank you for joining. All right. So now let's go on to Edgar Allan Poe. Now, like I said, he's one of my favorite authors. And in fact, I did a video on the mystery surrounding his death, and you can check that out anytime. You know what I'll do? I'll actually link it at the end of here so that anyone who's watching this who wants to check that out can go see it. But it's on my page. He died in such a mysterious way that's still technically unsolved. So it's an interesting story about how he died. But anyway, let's talk about his ghost. Now, Edgar Allan Poe's ghost is said to be in multiple locations. He doesn't just hang out in one place, much like he did in life. Much like he did in life, he wanders around a bit. He was quite a traveler, and he couldn't stand still very long. He liked taverns. He liked to drink, that type of stuff. He liked to carouse and stuff in the nightlife of a town. Even though he was a very melancholy guy, he loved his cognac, and because of that, we see his spirit in multiple locations. Now, the first place you hear of his spirit being is a place called Westminster Hall, which is a church and a churchyard, and that's because that's where his body is buried. And I have a picture for you of that, so you get a good idea of what I'm talking about here. This is what Westminster Hall in Baltimore looks like. It's a very old church, and next to it is an old graveyard, which holds the grave of Edgar Allan Poe. And that is, hold on, I have a picture of that as well. And I didn't really realize he had such a big monument, but it makes sense. This is what his grave looks like. That's the monument on over his grave, and it's in the churchyard. It's a graveyard. It's walled in next to that church. Now, it's said that people have seen Edgar's ghost wandering about this graveyard late at night. And the ghost looks much like you would think he would look, that he is kind of depressed and down, walking around in a melancholy way. So it's an interesting encounter to see the apparition like that walking around in the graveyard. All right. So that's the actual grave site. So that possibly could be where he is. But it also says that the ghost travels from there, and he goes to another location. The other location is about 8 blocks away, and it was the townhouse where Edgar Allan Poe lived while he was in Baltimore. He was a famous writer, but unfortunately, he didn't have a lot of money. He was not well-to-do, and he lived in a modest home. So I'll show you what his home looked like. He lived in this little townhome. Like I said, 8 blocks from Westminster Hall. I'm sorry, not Abbey. And it is said that this particular building, which is kind of small, right? I would think it's kind of small. This particular building, if you go in there and you spend some time there, you may very well see Edgar Allan Poe's ghosts writing at a table where he wrote many a poem. You might see him doing that. You might also feel someone tapping you on the shoulder, something tapping you on the shoulder. You might hear voices that many people have heard disembodied voices around in various rooms of this townhouse. And that the lights will go on and off and move. So lamps will be in a location one moment, and then you'll see them in another location. And that there's a lot of cold spots that are inexplainable, and that even the windows will open and close on their own. So a lot of activity in this particular house. Could be Edgar's ghost, could be other ghosts as well, because it said that there was also a woman that was seen here as well. So who knows? But the point is that there's a lot of activity here, and to actually see Edgar's apparition sitting at his writing desk. Now, this room, and I'll point out that this place is a historical museum now, so it's set up as if he was living there. So there's antiques, and then there are replicas of what it looked like when he was living there. So you can tour it. It's something you can do and tour. So if I was in Baltimore, I'd probably check this out. I think that would be very interesting to see that. So the first place is he's in Westminster Hall. Second place he's in this townhome 8 blocks away from that. And the final place he is a place called the Horse You Came In On Saloon. The Horse You Came In On, like the horse you rode in on. The Horse You Came In On Saloon is the last place you'll see him. Now, this has a significant hold on a second. Why don't I have a picture of this? That's unacceptable. I need to find a picture of this. Hold on one second. The significance of this particular place, this tavern, is the this is where he was found. That led to his death. This is where he was found, in front of this saloon, in a daze, which ultimately led to his death. He was found in a daze and then brought to the hospital, and it's all in that episode. You can watch it. But or she came in on, and so I guess this was significant enough to Edgar that he wants to go back there. All right. Here we go. It's coming. I apologize. I should have had this one ready. I don't know why I forgot about this one. But this is what it looks like. What is going on here? All right. Here we go. Share screen. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it's a old looking, tavern. Old looking. The Horse You Came In On. And it says it right there in the front on the sign. It's in the older part of Baltimore. And it's, in fact, the oldest continuously running saloon in the country. So this has been in existence for more than any other saloon, which is interesting to me. That it's been there over 150 years, more than that, and it's never gone out of business. It's always been the Horse You Came In On saloon. So if you go to this place, you'll visit this very same place that Edgar Allan Poe would go and drink. So let me get rid of this. Interesting, right? Right. So this is the most interesting part of the Edgar Allan Poe part, is that it is said that many people have seen Edgar Allan Poe here. They've seen his spirit sitting at the bar. They've seen him, sitting at the end of the bar. And it's become such a prevalent sighting that what the bartender will do is each night the bartender will set out a glass of cognac, which I mentioned before. That was his favorite drink. He'll set it out at the end of the bar in front of a stool, and no one will go near that stool. They know better than to go near that stool because that's Edgar's stool. But it's also said that if on October 7th, every year on October 7th, now that's the anniversary of his death, on October 7th at 12 midnight, if you're in the tavern, the place will go quiet, and if someone yells out, quote the Raven, nevermore, that glass of cognac will move. So you have to quote the Raven, quote the Raven, nevermore, that famous poem of Edgar Allan Poe. If you yell that out, someone yells that out, many have said They've seen the glass move. So really creepy interaction with a ghost like that. I love stories like that where you do something and something will occur, especially on the anniversary of his death, October 7th. So really cool stuff. I'd love to go there and visit it sometime and see what I can see or encounter. So yeah, definitely check out my video if you're interested in Edgar Allan Poe, because I talk in detail about the various theories around his death, and then I come to my own conclusion as to what I think happened. But you make your own conclusion. Oh, welcome, Game Rome. Good to see you. You're new. I've never seen you here before. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. So those are my stories. That's my story. So we got Edgar Allan Poe, his ghost. We have Westminster. I'm sorry. Edgar Allan Poe is at Westminster Hall, its gravesite. He's at the townhouse, and he's at the Horse You Ran in, rode in on, or Horse You Came in on saloon, where he loves to drink his cognac. That's the one story. And then we have Jericho Bridge, which is very haunted with various different types of stories. And then finally, we have Admiral Fell Inn, which was an old sailor's home, old sailor's boarding house, which is haunted by various different entities and spirits. So those are your three spots in Baltimore that I wanted to highlight. Or not, they're not all, Jericho's not in Baltimore. Jericho Bridge is not in Baltimore, but it's not far. It's Baltimore. It's on the border of Baltimore County. So there you go. Those are your stories. I hope you enjoyed them. So I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't know how you were doing tonight. I hope you're doing all very well. And hope everyone's having a great weekend, or going to have a great weekend, I should say. Don McHugh, my friend, good to see you. I can't even say, has anyone seen Don McHugh, because he's right here. So yeah, so again, I'm going to say, if anyone has stories, personal encounters, personal paranormal experiences that they'd like to share, please let me know. You can use this forum. You can come up and tell your story. I'm happy to hear it. Makes it more interesting to hear actual encounters, also from my perspective, anyway. I mean, I love telling the stories and telling you the legends and what the predominant things that have happened, but I'd love to hear actual encounters with people. Those are the best, in my opinion. Well, thank you, Bill. See, I'm glad I'm glad you did. Okay, Bobo says Pope Cottage is said to be haunted, where he did a lot of writings and visited by poets and writers for inspiration in the Bronx, New York. Yes. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he traveled a lot and he lived in different locations. He lived in New York, he lived in Baltimore, he lived in, I believe, Virginia at one point. He was at West Point. He was in West Point Academy at one point, upstate New York. So he did he did travel a lot and got around a lot at the time. And there's actually a good movie. It's fictional. There's a movie where he is a character in it, and it's recent, and I forget the name of it, but it's a good movie if you want. It's a murder mystery, and he helps solve the murder mystery. It's a murder that takes place at West Point, and he helps solve it. I liked it. Christian Bale is in it. Christian Bale is the detective that he helps solve the murder. I'd check it out if you like that stuff. Hey, Gamerone, thank you for joining me, and thank you for being new. Love it. The Blue Eye, yeah, something like that, right, Gerard? It's something like that. The blue something or other. Yeah, it might be the Blue Eye. I don't know, but yeah, I enjoyed that movie. I enjoy period movies like that, historical period movies, and especially a mystery or a thriller like that. It's good stuff. Oh, Gamer One. Why am I saying Gamer Own? I'm thinking of it like an Italian name, Gamer Own. It's Gamer One. That's what it is, Gamer One. Thank you, Gamer One, for joining. Oh, you liked it too, Gerard? Good. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I'm not alone. I did. I watched it a couple of times. I watched it a couple of times on cable, so I thought it was good. There's also another movie about Edgar Allan Poe where John Cusack plays Edgar Allan Poe, and it's about his death. And it's fiction. It's fictional. It comes up with a theory as to what actually happened, and so it was an entertaining movie. It's called The Raven. That one's called, I think, The Raven, and I like that one too. It wasn't as good as the Blue Eye, but I did enjoy that one. So I mean, if you're an Edgar Allan Poe fan, you should definitely check out these movies. They're cool. Excuse me. Yes, Bill C. It's something like that. The Blue Eye. Yeah, it's something. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So that's the story there. Um, just in terms of things I'm thinking about in the future, just to give you a heads up, thinking about doing some on-site stuff, like going out to local areas where things have said to have occurred, spirits, and seeing if I can encounter anything. And of course, I would film it live, do a live from there. I just have to figure out how I'm going to do that. And I don't want to break any laws. I want to make sure I'm not trespassing on anything. So I want to make sure I plan that out well. But if I do, I'll definitely go live so you guys can watch me in those locations and see if there's anything happening. The candle orbs, yeah, yes. Cusack is not on my list of Oh yeah, it's not about. It's really not about Cusack. It's more about the. I thought it was interesting in terms of what they do with this. I mean, it's completely fictional, but they come up with a theory as to how he died, or what caused his death, and it's interesting. I mean, I thought it was creative. So it's not Cusack's acting or anything like that, but it's just it's an interesting concept. That's why I appreciated it. Yes, Tony. Yes, Vincent Price. Yes, absolutely. And then there's also, yeah, there's several movies of the actual of his works, of his stories, of Edgar Allan Poe's stories that you can find from the 60s. They made several movies of them in the 60s. Oh, the yeah, Stiggs, and I don't know if I can do that from here. If anybody else can, there's plenty of moderators here. If somebody can drop those links, Stiggs and Thien, that would be great. Thien probably passed out already, so he can't drop his own. So yeah, that would be great. If you can do that, please do that. And please drop any links that you want to drop, if you have channels. I don't know if anyone else, wants to promote their channels. Please do. Please do that. And let me know, you know, and as always, let me know if you have stories to tell me. If you want me to tell, you want me to research, tell me that too. If there's a suggestion you want me to look into, something you've heard, let me know. I'll be happy to do that. It's because this is our show. It's everybody's show here, right? Everybody that comes in here, it's our show. So please do that. Please let me know, and I'll do whatever you guys want to do. So somebody doesn't have any theme dues. How do people don't have the news? All right, hold on. Let me see if I can try to do it. Maybe I can do it from my phone. Oh, my phone is not here. Someone must be able to do it. Let me see if I can do it. I don't think I can. No, I can't figure it out. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Don. Thank you. Bill C. went to Vermont with my wife last April. There were a lot of wooden bridges. Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful bridges there. Beautiful. Absolutely. Oh, the 18th floor. Yeah, I think I saw that, Tony. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I mean, I don't remember a lot about it, but he was a writer in there too, I think. Wasn't he a writer or something? It was that was really weird. That movie was really weird. Oh, okay. Okay, Bill C. Milton Ghost Road. Is that the actual name of it? Ghost Road? Ghost Road in Milton, Mass. All right. I'll check it out. Ghost Road. Huh. You're old and you love old things, Tony. Yeah, please. Yeah, obviously, please subscribe to my friends Thindu, uh, Stigs. I mean, you guys are all subscribed to Stigs and Thindu already, anyway. I'm sure. Slim, Slim's going on next. Slim's going on at 10. So you know that's where I usually go over there after I shut things down here. So please check him out. Thank you. There you go. Slim dropped his link right there. Excellent. McSorley's old. I know of McSorley's, Bobo. I know of that place, McSorley's in New York City. I'll see if I never heard any stories about ghosts though, but I will look into it. There you go. Sven is subbing to Slim. Thank you, Sven. All right. You have a crush on Lenny? Lenny, you have fans. Did you know that? You have fans, dude. There he goes. There's a good shot of Lenny. How old was Lenny? I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. How old was Lenny? I don't know. I'll have to ask him later. He's not very talkative right now. I'll ask him later. Next time we'll reveal how old he was before he passed. Don, no, I have not. I know you mentioned that before. Notre Dame. No, I haven't done that one. I mean, those have been. I mean, that's out of the country. I was trying to do states. I was focusing on states in the United States. I did do one in Italy, I think, or did I do one or two in Italy? But I'll definitely look at that Notre Dame and the Irish thing that Gerard suggests, the Irish Tavern. Yeah, I mean, eventually, I'm going to run out of stories in the United States, so I want to go. I'll want to go to those other locations and pull stories there. Keeps his weight down. He watches everything he eats. He was very, very strict diet guy. Very, very strict. Only, only protein. Right, Lenny? Only protein. Oh yeah, there's plenty of ghost towns out west. Definitely. Yeah, there's plenty of ghost towns from the old west that are still out there that have stories with them. Sure. Rikers Island. Yeah. Yep. Just like Alcatraz as well. So anyway, so thank you guys for the input. Thank you for the ideas. I really appreciate it. And we're gonna wrap things up tonight. Yep, Bobo. Absolutely, Bobo. Yep. All right. Well, listen, I want to thank each and every one of you. Please hit the like button. Even better, leave a comment after the show. Hopefully that'll help get it out to more people. At least that's the theory. But in the meantime, Slim is going on at 10, so let's go check him out. And if you're watching this on replay and you want more information about Edgar Allan Poe, I will put a link here that goes to my original video on the mystery around his death. So it should be interesting to you. So if you're watching this, you want to see Edgar Allan Poe, check out the link and it'll take you there. So anyway, thank you everyone for joining me. As always, I love you all. You make my Fridays worth doing by being here. So I really appreciate that. And I wish you all the best. So as always, I say, stay scared, the good type of scared, and we'll blow out our candles as we always do. We got three of them tonight, so it's a little different. One,